Hey gamers, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy, Amir Sohail, and today we're diving into the much anticipated, the legendary, the almost mythical system requirements for GTA 6. That's right, the moment we've all been waiting for, or maybe dreading, depending on the state of your current rig. We're going to break down exactly what Rockstar is expecting from our glorious gaming machines. Let's see if your PC is ready to join the floor gang of next-gen gaming, or if it's destined for the cringe compilation of unplayable frame rates. This is serious business, people. The hype for Grand Theft Auto 6 is absolutely insane, beyond anything we've seen before probably. We've been dissecting trailers, analyzing leaks, allegedly, and dreaming of what Vice City or wherever they're taking us will look like. But all those ray-traced puddles and hyper-realistic explosions come at a cost, a computational cost. Knowing these system requirements is absolutely crucial. It's the difference between cruising down the strip with the wind in your hair and chugging along like a broken lawnmower. So, grab your G Fuel, settle in, and let's find out if your setup has big PP energy for GTA 6. We're gonna go through everything: OS, CPU, GPU, RAM, and how much of your precious hard drive space this absolute unit of a game is going to devour. I'll try to explain what it all means, even if you're not a super tech-savvy bro. The goal here is to get you prepared, so you're not caught with your pants down when this behemoth finally drops. So are you ready? Because I am absolutely ready to talk about this. Let's frickin' go. This is going to be epic, or at least informative. Alright, first up on the chopping block, the operating system, the OS. The very foundation your gaming empire is built upon. For GTA 6, Rockstar is laying down the law. You'll need at least Windows 10 64-bit to even get your foot in the door. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. This isn't a suggestion, bros, it's a cold, hard requirement. Windows 10, specifically the 64-bit version, is key here because it allows the game to use more RAM, which, trust me, a game like GTA 6 will absolutely guzzle down. Plus, it supports newer technologies like DirectX 12, which developers are using to make games look ridiculously good. So, if you're still rocking Windows 7, bless your nostalgic heart, but it's time to join the current century, my friend. It's like trying to play Cyberpunk on a Commodore 64, it's just not gonna happen. Now I can already hear some of you out there. But Amir, I love my Windows 8, it's got tiles. Yeah, well, GTA 6 probably doesn't care about your tiles, okay? Upgrading to Windows 10, or even Windows 11, which will also be fine, obviously, isn't just about this one game. It's about better security, wider game compatibility, and features designed for modern gaming. Think of it as leveling up your PC's operating system skill tree. You wouldn't go into a boss battle with level 1 gear, would you? So, consider this your Quest notification: upgrade to Windows 10 64-bit. It's for your own good, and for the good of all those virtual citizens you're about to terrorize. Or, save. Whatever your playstyle is, man. And for my Mac and Linux warriors out there, well, the official word is usually pretty Windows-centric for Rockstar titles on PC at launch. While there are sometimes workarounds like Proton for Linux, you might be in for a tougher ride or a longer wait. The path of least resistance, and the one Rockstar is specifically asking for, is that Windows 10 64-bit environment. So if GTA 6 is a must-play for you on day one on PC, you know what you gotta do. Don't be that guy complaining in the forums that the game won't launch because you're trying to run it on Windows XP. That's just cringe. Make the switch, embrace the future, and prepare your PC's soul for GTA 6. Next up, let's talk about the CPU, the central processing unit, the big brain in your computer. This is what handles all the complex calculations, the AI of a million tiny digital people, the physics of that car you just launched off a ramp. For GTA 6, the minimum requirement for that brain is an Intel Core i5 4460 or an AMD FX 8350. Now these aren't exactly spring chickens, brothers. The i5 4460, that's a Haswell chip from around 2014. The FX 8350 is even older, a pile driver from 2012. So Rockstar isn't asking for the absolute latest and greatest, which is surprisingly generous, or maybe it's a trap. These chips were solid mid-rangers in their day, capable of handling demanding tasks. But time marches on, and games get bigger. So what does this mean for you? If you've got one of these, or something equivalent or better, you should be able to run the game. The CPU is crucial for an open-world game like GTA. Imagine Vice City or whatever sprawling metropolis they've built, bustling with NPCs, complex traffic systems, dynamic events. Your CPU is juggling all of that. If it's not up to snuff, you're going to feel it. We're talking potential bottlenecks, where your fancy GPU is waiting around for the CPU to catch up. This leads to stuttering, lag spikes, and an overall experience that makes you want to throw your monitor out the window. And nobody wants that, especially if it's a good monitor. We need smooth, responsive gameplay to fully immerse ourselves in the chaos. If your CPU is older or weaker than these minimums, like an old i3 from that era or an even older AMD chip, you might be in for a rough time. It might technically launch, but playable could be a very generous term. Think slideshow presentation during a high-speed chase, not ideal. You can usually check your CPU by diving into your system settings, or using a tool like CPU-Z. If you find yourself below par, it might be time to consider an upgrade. A healthy CPU is a happy CPU, and a happy CPU means a happy gamer, ready to cause some glorious high frame rate mayhem in GTA 6. Don't let your CPU be the simp in this relationship. Alright, let's get to the flashy part, the component everyone drools over, the GPU, the graphics processing unit. This is what makes the game go from a bunch of code to a stunning visual masterpiece on your screen. For GTA 6, to even get a taste of those stunning visuals, you'll need a minimum of an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 974GB or an AMD Radeon R9 394GB. The GTX 970, a legendary card from 2014. Many of us probably had one or dreamt of having one. And the R9 390, its AMD rival, also a solid performer with a bit more VRAM in some models, but here they specify 4 GB. These cards were beasts for 1080p gaming back in the day. The GPU is responsible for rendering everything you see, the detailed character models, the sprawling landscapes, the beautiful lighting, the explosions that make Michael Bay jealous. That 4 GB of VRAM, or video RAM, is important for loading high-resolution textures. GTA games are known for their incredibly detailed worlds, and GTA 6 is expected to push that even further. If your GPU doesn't have enough VRAM or isn't powerful enough, you'll see textures that look like muddy PS2-era graphics, objects popping in and out of existence, and frame rates that make you physically ill. We want to see every glorious pixel of Vice City, not a blurry mess. The stunning visuals are a huge part of the GTA experience, and your GPU is the key to unlocking them. So if you're still rocking something like a GTX 750Ti or an older Radeon card with less than 4 GB of VRAM, you're going to struggle big time. You might have to turn all the settings down to potato mode, and even then, it could be a slideshow. Remember, these are requirements. This means the game will probably at lower settings and resolutions, aiming for something like 30 frames per second. It doesn't mean you'll be maxing it out and getting a buttery smooth 60+ FPS. For that, you'll need something much beefier. So, check your GPU, make sure it's got the juice, because GTA 6 is going to be a visual feast, and you don't want to show up with a plastic spork. Let's talk RAM, random access memory, your PC's short-term memory. This is where the game loads all the assets it needs quick access to, like character models, textures, and parts of the game world you're currently in. For GTA 6, Rockstar says you need to make sure you have at least 8 GB of RAM to keep the game running without a hitch. 8 GB. For a long time, 8 GB was the comfortable standard for gaming, but now, for a massive title like GTA 6, it's scraping the bottom of the barrel, the absolute minimum. This tells you something about the scale and complexity we're about to witness. Open-world games, especially ones as detailed as GTA, are notorious RAM eaters. So, what happens if you try to skimp on RAM and run GTA 6 with, say, only 4 GB or 6 GB? Oh boy, you're in for a world of pain, my friend. Expect massive stuttering, especially when moving quickly through the world like driving a fast car or flying a plane. The game will constantly be struggling to load and unload assets from your much slower hard drive or SSD into that tiny pool of RAM. You'll see textures taking ages to load in, resulting in blurry surfaces or objects popping into view suddenly. And worst of all, game crashes. Lots and lots of frustrating game crashes, probably right when you're about to complete a difficult mission. It's the digital equivalent of trying to remember a 100-digit number after seeing it for 1 second. Honestly, while 8 GB is the I'd strongly recommend aiming for 16 gigabytes if you can. With 8 gigabytes, you'll likely need to close every other application on your PC, your browser, Discord, everything, just to give GTA 6 enough breathing room. With 16 gigabytes, you'll have a much smoother experience, less stuttering, and the game will just feel more responsive overall. Think of 8 gigabytes as the entry ticket to the amusement park, but 16 gigabytes is the fast pass that lets you enjoy the rides without as much frustration. So if you're still on 8 gigabytes, it's a good time to look at adding another stick if your motherboard allows. Your future self, immersed in the world of GTA 6, will thank you. And finally we arrive at the big one, the chonker, the absolute unit of a requirement storage space. Get ready to clear out your digital closet, because GTA 6 will take up a hefty 100 gigabytes of your storage space. 100 gigabytes. That's not a typo, bros. That is a significant chunk of your hard drive or SSD. Think about it, that's like, what, 2 or 3 Call of Duties ago, or like 1,000 indie games. This just screams massive world, high-resolution textures, tons of content, and remember this is likely just the base game install. Factor in future DLCs, updates and patches, and that number could easily climb even higher over time. So that 100 gigabytes is just the starting price for admission. Now, the requirement just says 100 gigabytes of storage space, it doesn't explicitly say SSD required. But let me tell you, if you're installing a 100 gigabyte open world game in this day and age on an old mechanical hard disk drive, HDD, you are setting yourself up for some serious loading time suffering. We're talking go make a sandwich, eat it, and come back. And maybe the game has loaded kind of times. An SSD, especially a faster NVMe SSD, will make a night and day difference in loading screens, asset streaming, and overall responsiveness. While not a requirement in terms of will it launch, an SSD is almost a requirement for a game of this magnitude. Seriously, if you don't have one, this might be the game that finally makes you upgrade. So, it's time for spring cleaning on your PC. Go through your game library. Be honest, that game you bought on sale 3 years ago and played for 15 minutes, delete it. Those 50 gigabytes of definitely important cat videos, maybe move them to an external drive. You need to make room for the king. Check your available disk space now. If you're hovering close to full, you might need to either uninstall a bunch of stuff or consider investing in a larger or a new dedicated gaming SSD. The sacrifice is real, but for GTA 6, it might just be worth it. Prepare your drives, for the thickness is coming and it demands its 100 gigabyte tribute. That's it for today's video, my dudes and dudettes. We've gone through the official, or at least strongly rumored and widely accepted minimum system requirements for GTA 6. Windows 10 64-bit, an i5 4460 or FX 8350, a GTX 970 or R9 390 with 4 gigabytes VRAM, 8 gigabytes of RAM, and a whopping 100 gigabytes of storage. Phew, it's a fair bit to take in, and for some older systems it might be a bit of a wake-up call. But hey, now you know what you're up against. Knowledge is power, and the power to play GTA 6 is what we're all aiming for, right? So, the big question remains, is your PC ready? Did your rig pass the test with flying colors? Or are you now frantically searching for upgrade parts online? Let me know down in the comments. I'm genuinely curious to see how many of you are all set, and how many are about to embark on an upgrade adventure. Remember, these are for a truly glorious high-fidelity experience, you'll want to aim higher, especially on the GPU and RAM front. But at least now we have a baseline, a starting point for our journey into what promises to be an absolutely legendary game. The hype is real, and I can't wait. Thank you so much for watching. If this video helped you out, or if you're just as hyped for GTA 6 as I am, be sure to smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already for more gaming news and madness, and definitely ding that notification bell so you don't miss out on future updates. We'll be covering everything GTA 6 as more news drops. Stay awesome, bros, keep your PCs prepped, and I'll see you in the next video. Brofist!